You're listening to WTJU Charlottesville. For Arts This Week, we chatted with Jeffrey Minza from the Virginia Theater Festival. You can attend the Virginia Theater Festival's production of Little Shop of Horrors on July 11th through the 21st. I asked him exactly what is Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors is a musical that is based on a 1960s B horror movie by Roger Corman of the same name. And it infuses a lot of musical styles and tropes from sci-fi films in a story that is about this young man who works in a florist shop who one day happens upon a unusual plant that turns out to have a penchant for drinking blood. In exchange for getting blood for this plant, the plant helps this young man, Seymour, fulfill his dreams of becoming more successful and finding the girl that he loves. But of course, as with any morality story, there's always a cost. And so I think it is a great summer piece because it has a bit of an escapist flair to it. It's a love story. You leave tapping your toe. And from my perspective, I think it has an incredible heart in the center of it. So I think for all those reasons, the Virginia Theater Festival decided to take it on.
Jeffrey Minza also spoke about the makings of the musical.
Well, the theater chose the show and they invited me to come direct it. But I think it's a play that is really popular because it's very accessible. I think the music is really fun. You know, there was a movie that was made of it in the 80s that still has, a lot of people really enjoy that as among their favorites. And so I think it is a great summer piece because it has a bit of an escapist flair to it. And I thought about it. I'd done some projects and things, but I never really directed professionally. And so I took that on and I really enjoyed the process. And then I just started pursuing it when opportunities presented themselves. So it's it's so different than acting because as an actor, you're focused on basically the one thing that you're responsible for, which is the role that you're creating. And then as a director, you have to broaden that. And it's much, you're collaborating with all these other artists and the actors. And so having a sense of the big picture is what's needed, as well as being able to then become very detail oriented. And so it's really fun and satisfying. It's also exhausting in a different way than acting is. Even though you spend a lot of time watching, there's just your mind is always going and you're waking up at 3 a.m. thinking about that one moment. I gotta solve that one moment. So we started work on it in January, but we've been in conversations around the physical world of the play in terms of the set and lights and sound and costumes in particular, deciding what the world looks like, what sort of quality and tone of the color palette and all those things. Those are all early conversations we started having. And then we did casting in New York in March and then started rehearsal 3 weeks ago. And so we were about to move into the theater for our technical rehearsals. And the last several weeks have just been working with the cast, learning the music, learning choreography, staging the story, creating it with them, seeing what they're bringing to the table and responding to that. And we just did a run-through for the internal folks before we head into the theater so that all the designers and the folks who will be working on the show get a sense of what we've been building. And I'm excited to get into the theater. One of the biggest challenges is working with, and it's really fun, but it's just a challenge is working with the puppets that are the plant character. There are 4 different puppets that we use over the course of the play, and trying to understand how they function and how actors interact with them was just a unique challenge that I hadn't experienced before. And I'm excited for where they're headed. I think that Mary and Matthew, our other puppeteer, have really worked hard to bring them to life so that they're not just objects on stage, and I think it works really well, along with the voice actor who gives Audrey 2 its amazing voice. All those elements coming together, I think, are starting to become more clear and pretty exciting. So yeah, but that's been a unique challenge for this show. If you don't enjoy bopping along to some great music and seeing some amazing performers on stage, then don't come. But you should come because it's all of those things and talking plants. So, come on down. You need to see the talking plants. And don't feed the plants. That's also very important.
You can attend Virginia Theater Festival's Little Shop of Horrors on July 11th through the 21st at Colbreth Stage. Arts This Week is brought to you with support from Piedmont Virginia Community College. PVCC Arts presents a rich array of dance, music, theater, and visual arts programming. Learn more at pvcc.edu. You're listening to WTJU.